Viewpoints On episode 20, and a little condensed show today.
Right.
But first, before we start, I had something. This show means a lot to me, and without Stephanie, the show wouldn't have been going. So I got a little gift of my appreciation. It's nothing, fancy, nothing big, but and sorry for the wrapping, but it's either that or Christmas wrapping. So just a small gift.
That's very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nothing too extravagant, but
A book about the Grammys. That's very cool. Thank you.
So, no problem.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so it's just my thank you for making the show what it is and keeping with it. So
Wow, that's
I appreciate
nice.
it. So let's jump right into the
Want to See It is what we're going to start with this week.
Yes.
There wasn't a lot of big movies opening,
No.
so we decided to go see something a little old. A local theater.
Yeah.
It's playing some cult classics on Friday nights. So we went and checked out Fight Club.
Yes.
It had been a while since I had seen like the real version, because they show it on TV all the time, so you see the edited version. But it's just seeing it on the big screen reminds you of just how cool of a movie it is.
Yeah. So did you ever see it when it was first out on the theater?
No, I never saw it in the theater. I saw the DVD and stuff later, But
I'm aging myself here, but I did see it in the theater. I remember it was the first showing. And I really believe it's one of those movies where you have to see it in a theater. It's
right.
It just the effects really hold up well, and that's saying something for a 10-year-old movie. It's just so visually appealing that you have to see it in the big screen. And we took Desiree with us, who is the former editor-in-chief, and she was like 11, maybe 10 when it came out.
Right. So she did not see it.
She never saw it in the theater, and she was like just. She loved it in the theater. So
well, I'm looking forward to some of the other movies that this theater will be showing. So we'll probably give you updates on that as they happen. Some really great movies coming up. The Crow, Reservoir Dogs, Clerks, Top Gun. Some great classics. So we'll let you know how that works out. But enough of that.
Well, it's just kind of weird because usually we talk about last week and then we give people what's going on for the next week. Mm-hmm. But this time we actually saw a movie that's coming out before we tape. But then
we saw it, but then we delayed the taping. So now it all balances out. Yeah. So, of course, we're talking about the big release of the week, Watchmen, which was, of course, by and far the #1 movie at the box office. Made like $55 million. Number 2 made like 8.
Yeah, Medea.
So
she tried.
So, but Tim, let's get right into it.
Oh,
what did you think of Watchmen?
It was very pretty. And then visually, it was just amazing.
Visually stunning.
Just wow. I went through this weekend. I have my own little rating system where I base it on 4 things. It's visual, story, acting, and directing. Because that's what Yahoo does.
Yeah, sure.
So visuals, I gave it an A.
Absolutely.
Story, I gave it like a C something. Just because there's some things I like that they took from the graphic novel. And then there's just some things I'm like, okay, they could have cut this out. They could have cut this out. And if I do that in a movie, it doesn't get an A automatically. Directing, I thought was pretty good. I thought he did an okay job.
My problem is that the movie was just too long, I felt. And that goes to what you said, story. There's a lot. It was very exposition heavy. Yeah. But then once you get into the second half, it felt redundant. Because I felt like they were giving me the same exposition. Yeah. It was like, how many times could they tell me or show me that Dr. Manhattan is cut off from humanity? I get it. Like, it just felt a little redundant. And so I would chalk that up to the directing, that the movie is unnecessarily long. I think there's a good 30 minutes they could have cut out of that.
Yeah, probably more.
And they could have brought it way down. And the acting.
I thought Jeffrey Dean Morgan was good. I thought Jackie Earle Haley was good.
I thought Jackie Earle Haley stole the movie.
Yeah, he was really
fantastic.
Good. Patrick Wilson did an okay job. But there's some,
I really thought that all the main characters were great except for Malin Ackerman, who plays Silk Spectra. She was a little, she was the weak link. Let's put it that way. Definitely.
Yeah, I would agree.
But, overall, what would be your overall grade for
B-?
B-?
Yep.
I feel like I'd have to give it a C. I mean, there's no way it was ever going to live up to all the hype that surrounded it, but the notice on this movie was always that it was unfilmable.
Yeah.
Because the book is so different from anything, that they didn't feel like they could make a movie out of it. Now that they've done it, point. I think, yes, it was unfilmable.
Okay, so since we've both seen 2 movies this year, 2 2009 movies, how would you rank the 2 then?
Well, the 2 I've seen is Watchmen and Medea Goes to Jail. They couldn't be more different.
Well, yeah, but let's give us like an update so we can like update people on our lists and how they're they're progressing through the year.
Okay, well, I would say out of the 2, I'd probably they're so different. It's hard to say, but
one's going to be higher. So
I guess if I have to put one higher, I guess I could put Watchmen higher than Medea, but that's just based on my level of excitement about it, But keep in mind, Race to Witch Mountain comes out this week, and I'm probably going to have to go see that because it is one of my mom's all-time favorites. So
that's true. Well, for me, it's not very hard because I got Watchmen and Friday the 13th, so
right,
blatantly obvious what mine's going to be. It's like
absolutely.
I could have given Watchmen a D, it would have still been higher on the list.
But once we get through April, which I guess is just going to be an awful month, May hits. And there's just non-stop stuff coming out. Yeah. So
we're going to be extremely busy.
Speaking of which, we did see a couple of really great trailers before the movie started. The best of which was that awesome Star Trek trailer.
So good.
Oh, my goodness. It probably was the awesomest part of the evening was the Star Trek trailer.
Yeah, for sure. I got goosebumps. I don't know, this is the geek in me. I've watched it like 20 times since then. I got goosebumps every single time. It's just... the visuals just like amazing. I mean, you can't even. If this is not nominated for an Oscar, for best visual effects, that's because you just look there. It's like just drool, like oh.
It looked good, and from what I've been hearing, I mean, I know there was some people who were iffy about J.J. Abrams at first, but the people who've seen, some footage or even a rough cut have all said that it is really great.
And I sent you an email this weekend that they said it's about 2 hours long. So I think that's a pretty good...
I think if there's one good thing that comes out of Watchmen, people who are making some of these big budget movies that are coming out in the summer, they will cut back on the length because I think they see that that's probably hurting it.
Yeah, I'm a good kind of viewer. It's about 2 hours. If it goes past like 2:20, you kind of lose me a little bit.
I don't have a problem watching a 3-hour movie if I feel like for 3 hours you had everything you had to put into it. If I watch it and I feel like, oh, you could have cut some stuff out of that.
Yeah, well, that's one of the main hurdles why I didn't see Benjamin Button. So.
Also, the Terminator Salvation trailer, you weren't quite as excited about that as I was.
I'm done with Terminator movies. I never saw the last one.
Yeah, I was thinking about this earlier, though. I hear that they're in talks to try and get Linda Hamilton back, which will be great for
just
a cameo.
Like narrate?
Yeah. Or, a cameo by Arnold, which I think would be a little unnecessary. If they really wanted a cameo, I would tell them to call Robert Patrick. Like, a cameo by him in the future, like you see them, making it, or, you see him right before he goes back to the past, that would be an awesome cameo.
No, I think that would be a better one. There's a few other trailers. I mean, I think those are the 2 that were really good. So, there's just some things we could skip, like Pandorum and...
Observe and report.
Yeah, which that brings up another thing, a little mini rant for me. We saw the Red Band trailer for that movie on the internet.
Yeah.
I've seen 2 rated R movies now that are hard R's, Friday the 13th, and they're very hard R's, and we get the Green Band trailer for that. I'm like, just play the Red... I mean...
It does seem a little silly that they can't play the Red Band trailer before you watch Watchmen, which is like top to bottom violence.
Yeah, and I've been to, Regal theaters, and they've played Red Band trailers, so I just don't understand. And everyone's laughing like on the Observer Report. I'm like, wait till you see the Red Band trailer. It's like, so there's that.
With that